Yeah, my name's Joe Leeman, and I'm an oil painter. I'm in Open Studios this year, and I've been painting for about 20 years now. This is my studio, and I've been influenced primarily by the old masters, especially the Baroque painters, Rembrandt, Velasquez, Caravaggio, Franz Hals. So that's what really inspired me to take up painting in the beginning. Originally I was a writer, but I had so many artist friends that I got more and more interested in paint. And I first I began drawing, and then eventually I began painting. Originally I said that I always used to say that I had a fear of color because I preferred drawing and I really didn't know what to make of color. But eventually I just jumped in and began messing around with it. You know, what I really love about oil painting is the solidity of it, the physicality of it, as opposed to watercolor. Although at times I try to use oil a little bit like watercolor because I love the transparency, I love glazing. I like to start my paintings with warm transparent washes, kind of like you would use watercolor. But I like the way that with oil you can do transparency, but then you can build it up into a lot of solidity and even like a lot of heavy impasto. So you get a lot of contrast between glazes and impasto. That's one of the things I really love about it. I first began painting old master copies because that's what really inspired me. I was primarily inspired to take up oil painting by looking at a lot of old master painters, especially the Baroque painters. I just began copying. I didn't have access to paintings in museums for the most part. They're too far away. So I just worked from prints and books and began copying as best I could in the beginning. And then eventually learned more by reading various books and studying different techniques, things that people had written about old master painting. And then I just kept copying. I especially copied early on a lot of Rembrandt and a lot of the Dutch painters, which I really love, and also some of the Italian and Flemish painters also. But then eventually I began doing my own original compositions based on what I learned from old master techniques. And my originals are more or less in a Baroque style, chiaroscuro, a lot of strong lights and darks with spots of brighter color here and there. So that's what I really love to paint. I love storytelling, and I've always loved the storytelling element of painting. I think it's too bad that for the most part people aren't using painting to tell stories anymore, probably largely because of cinema and movies. But I think storytelling, telling stories, is one of the most important things that you can do as an artist, whether you're an artist or a writer or a painter. I think stories are what it's all about. So I love telling stories. I like doing things, mythology. I like doing stuff from the Bible. I think painting can tell us a lot of things, more than well, a lot of modern painting, I guess, tends to be abstract, focuses a lot on decorative elements, and I think that painting can be used to go a lot deeper, a lot farther than that. So that's one of the things I try to introduce into all my paintings, is a storytelling element, even if it's a portrait or even a still life. You know, I still try to introduce some sort of a meaning, some sort of a philosophical idea behind it. So yeah, that's something that is very important to me as an artist. So I'm Joe Leeman. I'm artist number 246 in Open Studios here in Santa Cruz. My studio is located at 800 Estates Drive in Aptos. It's right off the Park Avenue exit, and there's lots of signs to get you here if you're looking for it.